My name is Oliver Zimmerman and I'm a filmmaker and photographer. Island of Refuge is a documentary that I'm shooting about the island of Lesbos, which is a small island in Greece, right next to Turkey. When I first went there in November 2015, that was at sort of the height of the crisis. There was kind of a system whereby people were being greeted on the beaches and it was sort of working, but the media had kind of descended onto the island. There were just a lot of people on the beaches and refugees kind of stepping off the boats. We're kind of entering like a chaotic situation. It's hard to describe, and so I wanted to produce something that was calmer and let the action happen within the frame. So I didn't kind of add to the chaos, or I tried not to anyway, and I took a step back. The truth is there was chaos on the beaches, but the rest of the island was sort of carrying on as normal. So I wanted to reflect that and not have the camera kind of running around in the same way, let's say, that some of the journalists were kind of adding to that crazy atmosphere. It was the people who are descendants of refugees who've been helping and who helped long before the media even got there. And I was interested in their stories, but also in their daily lives, and you know, there's also normality that kind of carries on, even when you're in the middle of a crisis. I mean, for me to carry on making that film, I needed to spend more time on the island and get to know people. So for me, actually, the people in the film are all people I've taken the time to get to know over a long period, and that's why I ended up moving to Lesbos for the best part of a year. In the first week that I was on Lesbos, I took a young female volunteer. I took her up to the life jacket cemetery, which is basically a mountain of life jackets, and it's a very powerful place. And she was the one who actually told me that it existed. So she chose that spot to do her interview there because it has an impact on you, and seeing that in the flesh. I mean, the way she put it, she said that every life jacket here tells a story, whether that's you know, a tragic story or a positive story of survival or hope. The idea was that she was going to pick up one of the life jackets because one of the big issues was that people were being sold fake life jackets in Turkey, and so these are life jackets that actually, if you do end up in the water, they're going to pull you down. So I started the camera rolling, and up until that point, everything had been, you know, pretty normal. And then she started to explain, and then she just suddenly paused, and she just couldn't speak. It all just kind of came out, and yeah, all that emotion and all that build-up, and she just didn't expect it, and it was a weird thing because it was such a profound place. I just turned the camera off, which, you know, as a documentary filmmaker, that's not really something you should do. You're normally trying to capture those moments. Of course, she told me, she was like, no, it would have been okay for you to carry on filming. But it is one of those things that happens, and I think that is just a physical place that has a profound impact on everyone. You know, thousands of life jackets kind of mounted up, and it certainly had a profound impact on me as a filmmaker.
Don't judge them for how they look like or how they act sometimes. Not all the refugees are the same. Okay, if anyone did something wrong, yes, judge them. But don't judge them before you see anything bad. We weren't living in caves. We have cars, we have mobiles, we have computers, we have internet. We have people have long hair.
I think the problem is that this lack of empathy that exists is because there's a lack of people being connected. So it's very easy to have no empathy for somebody that you've never met, or a family that you have no way of kind of even imagining who these people are, and maybe you just have a negative kind of media impression of you know, these people are culturally different, and And so therefore, yeah, maybe it's easy to not feel that empathy, but I just think in reality, like most people, if they have the chance to meet these people who need help, they will have a natural response of empathy. I just think that's kind of an area of, you know, it's a lack of integration. I think that's the main issue. There's a lack of integration, and when integration happens, and when it happens in the right way, that empathy is just a natural. It's just a natural product of that.
I would try to put it this way: how would you feel when you see a boat arriving with your mother or your wife in, holding a child in his hand, shivering because of the seas, and trying to give you the child, to help yourself, and the mother losing the child, falling in the sea, and you try to pick it out, the mother to come out and try to help the kid, the mother, the father, everybody needed help. How are you going to feel if you just think for a moment that it could have been your child or your brother or your mother?
I don't know if Island of Refuge is directly helping people. That's some of the feedback I get back, but I guess I really wanted to give a platform for the people to talk about their stories. So it's about doing something positive, and that makes people respond in a positive way, and that generates a movement.